This time around on Author's Corner, Marion Hudnall joins us, and her book is You Can't Scare Me, I Have a Daughter. I think it's just a brilliant title. And her story is one that maybe some people can relate to, a single woman adopting a special needs girl. And she takes us through such an interesting journey. There's no question about that. So here we are in Author's Corner again on Ericka tonight with me, Kate Delaney. Marion, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me, or tell the listeners, about the road to writing this book. What made you write the book?
Well, I guess I've always wanted to write a book, and after I adopted Ericka, I realized that I needed to write down and keep a journal of some of the things that happened because I would forget some of them, and a lot of them were very, very funny, very sweet. And so I kept the journal, and then I kept thinking I would write the book. And I think we need to let everybody know that special needs people are just like everybody else and want all the same things that everybody wants. And so I just kind of did it for that, just to let people know that adoption is kind of scary and can be difficult, but it's something that lots of people should really give a shot.
Oh, I love how you said that right from the start. Tell us more about Ericka and some of the funny stories that you share.
Well, let's see. Ericka was almost 6 when I got her, and she was only 36 pounds and 36 inches, really, so she was tiny. She was totally impressed with me that when we were in the grocery store, she wanted to buy chocolate milk, and I said, we can make that at home and it will be better. And she was totally thought I was the smartest person there ever was because I could make chocolate milk. And then when we were in Jackson, she asked the local minister, he always had a question of the day to get things started, discussion, So she wanted to know what would happen, where we would be if Jesus had never been born. And that kind of stumped a lot of people because there were a lot of religious people there, quote unquote, and they were utterly baffled that she would ever think of something like that. But she's always been a surprise, always comes up with all sorts of crazy things. And if she says that I have an idea, it's not a good thing, but that's the way it goes.
You say right in the beginning that, and it just makes your blood pressure boil because people don't have consideration or thought for someone else, and yet they claim to be a Christian. What you're talking about is when people will say to you, do you regret adopting Ericka? Wow. And you've had that happen to you.
I've had that happen more than once. I had an aunt who has passed on now that wanted to know why I didn't adopt a normal child so they could take care of me in my old age. And I don't think that's a given that a normal child would take care of me, but Ericka cares about me as much as anybody else would. Whether she's capable of caring for me or not is a totally different conversation. But I just can't see how people would think that I would regret it. There are times when you're like, why did I do this? But as a parent, everybody goes through that. I think, I don't know, I'm not a biological parent, but I would think that everybody questions what they got into.
Yeah. And it's interesting. You say, and you tell us about it right in the beginning. You talk about having a quiet single life, and then you adopted Ericka. You talk about working at the post office, even overtime if you wanted, doing whatever you felt like, growing up as an only child, being at home until you were 30, staying on the farm, turning down job interviews, all of that, helping your mother. And then you take on the adoption saga. What made you decide to adopt?
Well, I always wanted a child, always wanted a baby. Couldn't seem to do it the natural way, couldn't get pregnant, nobody would marry me. And so adoption was my only option. I thought I did try in vitro, and that's just way too expensive and too heartbreaking every month to find out that you're not pregnant. So I went the adoption route. I was 44, I believe, when I took the foster parent classes. And all of the foster parent and the adoption agencies basically tell you that if you actually want an infant, you're going to the bottom of the list, and I would have been dead by the time I would have got to the top of the list for a baby.
Wow.
So you start to refine your definition of what you really want. And so by the time I took the foster parenting, I had said that I wanted a child that was under 5 or so, and I didn't specify gender, race, anything like that. So I ended up with special needs, and I was naive enough to think that I could, quote unquote, fix her.
And look at what joy Ericka has brought to your life. I mean, it's just, I hear it in your voice. You feel that way, don't you?
Yes, I do. There have been lots of moments where I would not have done that, and it was totally a great experience to take her to fairs and have her take dance classes and gymnastics and do all the things that she has done. We actually went to Disney World, longest 5 days of my life, but that's it was a great experience, and I wouldn't have done a lot of the things that I have done with her.
Tell us about Ericka now.
Well, Ericka now is 31. She is frustrated with her situation in lots of ways, and I can understand it because she has finally come to realize that she's not ever gonna drive. She did have a boyfriend, and he died, had a seizure, and they couldn't revive him, and she still misses him. She wants a boyfriend. She wants more companionship, more friendship. But when you're in residential habilitation, there's not much chance of getting to meet people except other clients. And sometimes that doesn't work. She doesn't deal well with the roommate situation. She's basically too much of a narcissist. She wants all the attention, pretty self-centered, as a lot of people tend to be. And so she's mad about things that she can't control, and there's not a lot she can control in her life. So she tends to be violent, breaks things, throws things, hits people. A couple weeks ago, she tore the door off of a built-in microwave. And I don't know how strong you have to be to do that. But so she finally exacerbated and made the company as frustrated as they wanted to be. So their recourse is to file charges of destruction of property or battery against her to get her out of their care without dropping her off at my doorstep.
Wow.
Which would not be a good situation.
Right.
I love her dearly, but as she got up in court one other time when she was probably 16 or 17, she got up and told the judge that we're not good together. And it's true, because I have a standard. I know she's quite capable, far more capable than a lot of people think she is. And I try to hold her to that standard, and then she gets mad because I won't let her talk baby talk or, play the game of I can't, and tell her to do things for herself, because she can. She's very capable if she wants to be. So at the moment, she's sitting in the Bonneville, Idaho County Jail, waiting for a company that will decide to try to take her out into rehab and deal with her again.
Wow. Wow.
So I finally found a med manager who agreed with me that the medications were not helping. They don't seem to make a whole lot of difference unless she's pretty much comatose from something. It doesn't make any difference. She can fight her way through any med requirement or any med that, whatever its effect is, it doesn't phase her, and she grows, develops a tolerance to it so that eventually it won't work at all. But she does have the, as they call it, paradoxical relationship with meds, so that, like, Benadryl's supposed to make you sleepy. Well, she might sleep for a half hour, an hour, and then she's up bouncing off the walls. So that's called paradoxical, and it's never the right reaction. So we've got her off of almost everything. They have decided that she is bipolar. They would not diagnose her with that before she was 18 because they didn't want to, quote unquote, label her.
Oh yeah. Wow. What a great sentiment though in how we started and how we finished this. Marion Hudnall, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Visit us at www.greatwritersmedia.com. Email us at info@greatwritersmedia.com or call us at +1 877 556 0486.